Hi again, everyone. Welcome to the Gator Tales podcast with Sean Kelley. I'm Sean Kelley, the voice of the Gators, and welcome to episode number 49. It's been some time since I've been with you in this format. It's been kind of busy, as you know, with the Gators making a run toward a national championship in men's basketball, and of course, Gators baseball really turning their season around. In fact, with the national championship and with Gators baseball, there's a host of other successful stories coming out of Gainesville here during the spring season. Two of those success stories we're going to dial into in this podcast a bit today. And they both have to do with postseason and very successful and important pieces of the two teams I'm going to talk about. First of all, men's golf. The SEC championship belongs to the Florida Gators this spring, and J.C. Deacon and his team now are beginning their hunt for another national championship as postseason play is set to begin for the Gators men's golf team. I'm going to talk to J.C. Deacon about the season, those that are participating for the Gators on the course this spring, and of course his background and his love of the sport that he gets to coach. Then, of course, Gators softball. An unbelievable start to the season has yielded a Gators team toughened up by the conference schedule, culminating in a series win at home over number 1 Oklahoma to end that regular season. And now Tim Walton's club is in the quest of a return to Oklahoma City for the College World Series once again. Postseason play has begun. And of course, in the middle of that Gators attack, and right there for every pitch, is catcher Jocelyn Erickson. The highly decorated receiver with the Gators goes one-on-one with the voice of Gator softball, Kyle Crooks. So let's build upon the success of this spring and learn more about those helping bring us such joy to Gainesville. Our guests here on episode number 49, men's golf coach J.C. Deacon and Gators softball catcher Jocelyn Erickson. Gator Tales with Sean Kelley is presented by UF Health. UF Health has locations throughout Florida, including Gainesville, Jacksonville, St. Augustine, Leesburg, and the Villages, and we're growing. Compassionate care and world-class outcomes, that's our game plan. Visit ufhealth.org to learn more. Our podcast is also brought to you by Pet Paradise. Gator fans, for pet fanatics like you, there's only one place who goes all out for your pet the way you do. Boarding, grooming, day camp, and veterinary services, all in one convenient location. Pet Paradise and New Day Veterinary Care. Finally, complete pet health care is here for Gator Nation. Hi again, everyone. Today we get to catch up with Gators men's golf head coach J.C. Deacon. I'm Sean Kelley. J.C., it's great to have you this time of year. Postseason is on the horizon for the Gators. We'll get to that in just a moment, of course. For those who don't know, how many years now for you in this role at UF?
It's crazy to say, but it's number 11, and it's happened way too fast. But trying to slow down time and enjoy every moment. But it's really special to be a Florida Gator, and hope we got another 11 left in us.
There's an interesting road to get to these 11 years at UF, and it all begins north of the border in Canada, JC.
Yeah.
Home is exactly where?
So grew up just north of Toronto, Canada. Older brother and younger sister, and two awesome parents, and got into the game really young. It's kind of easy transition with hockey. Pretty much every little boy in Canada is playing hockey by the time they're 3 years old. So I was one of those, and transitioned to hockey or to golf, and fell in love with it kind of 9-10 years old, and still can't believe I'm the head coach of the Florida Gators after all this time, a kid from small town Toronto, Canada.
We have all these amazing stories, and of course you mentioned hockey and golf. This seems to be an athletic family. Was it always that way?
Yeah, my older brother, so thankful for him. We're seeing it in recruiting now. It's always an advantage to be the younger brother because you're having to play up at another level, and I had to do that as a youngster. He, baseball, hockey, golf, whatever it was we were doing, I was playing against him and his friends, and he never one day ever took it easy on me. So that was always fun and a lot of great memories, but thankful that it all led to here.
As you pointed out, hockey's a natural fit in that country. And of course, it could be anywhere from a frozen pond to, a rink, obviously. But the months of the year certainly favor hockey more than golf in a lot of ways. One's a contact sport, one is not. That transition seems maybe a little bit more of a leap than I can get my arms around.
So the transition was I'm right-handed in both. So slap shot or wrist shot in hockey, very similar motion to the golf swing. And I think that's why a lot of hockey players and Canadians in general are pretty good at golf. What hockey was my first love, probably still my first sport love. Biggest Toronto Maple Leaf fan you'll ever meet, and hoping this is our year for Austin Matthews and Nylander and Marner and those boys. But golf was just a thing we did to kind of get a break from hockey. And you're right, you're playing summer hockey, full-time hockey in the winter, and playing street hockey in the summers when the weather was good. But golf was always fun, and just something that came pretty quick to me, and fell in love with the sport. I made a birdie the first time my dad took me out to the golf course, and that kind of got the hook into me.
I was going to say, what was that moment? What was that moment that made you kind of lean more toward the little round ball, as they say?
Yeah, there was the 15th hole at the little par 3 course pretty close to our house. Dribbled a little 5-wood down there, and it went up to like 2 feet. And of course, my older brother made me putt the 2-footer, but I shook it in and made birdie, and I thought I was pretty good at that time. I think I was literally 5 or 6 years old. So fell in love that day, and I think the biggest thing for me is I love practicing golf. I could sit on an empty range for hours, still can now. And just something about it, getting better and seeing the ball fly through the air or hitting the right shot at the right time is pretty special. So still love it.
The uncommon path seems to be a theme in your life. Uncommon in this sense, too. Toronto to Las Vegas, Nevada for college golf. Yeah. How did that come to be?
Again, I consider myself one of the luckiest people in the world. I happened to hit a good drive on it was either 14 or 15 at the Magnolia course at Disney World, and get down there around the corner, and it was Coach Knight, who was Hall of Fame coach and was the 1998 national champions. And he says, "Holy smokes, this is a great drive. How'd you get it way down here?" And that kind of sparked the conversation between us. And he sent me a letter a couple weeks later and took my recruiting visit out there, and it was just such an easy fit with Shadow Creek and Southern Highlands, some of the golf courses you get to play, and a great program at the time, and I had a wonderful experience. And luckily for me, we hit it off and had a great relationship post-college and stayed in touch. And when his assistant coach position came open in 2011, he called me and changed my life forever.
No doubt. Coaching would be in your future as well. Was there any time spent playing pro as a golfer?
Yeah, I had 4 years as a professional. Gave it a good run, gave it all I had. Played on the PGA Tour Canada for 3 of those years, and loved every minute. Some of the best memories of my life that I've gotten to do with some of my closest friends, and just wasn't consistent enough. Had some good rounds at times, a bunch of rounds under 65 in my time. I just couldn't do it enough. And now being at the coaching level and seeing what the best players in the world look like, just wasn't there, especially the short games. So, very thankful for where it's all led me. I wouldn't change a thing, and get a chance to chase these things with the Florida Gators.
National championship, of course, for the Gators just a couple of years ago. J.C., when you think back to that pro experience, obviously you said there were shortcomings there as a player, but yet that experience had to influence you as a coach in some way. What was it about your time on the tour that has now helped you as a coach?
I think, you look back and obviously you wish you could have done some things different, not getting to the level that I wanted to, but you learn what it takes. You got to really stay in the present. There's a special mindset that you need to have to be really successful with golf, and I just didn't have it at the time. And then I just didn't spend enough time working on my short game. And those two things right there have really shaped me as a coach for sure. And been very lucky to spend a lot of time around, our associate head coach now, Dudley Hart, who played on the PGA Tour for forever, and he learned a lot about preparation and practice and how to be ready for competition. And so we put together a really good process for our guys that's been working, and it's so much fun now to have a front row seat to watch their dreams come true. And their dreams turn into my dreams, and it's almost just as fulfilling watching them do it instead of myself. It's really neat.
Yeah. Visiting with head coach J.C. Deacon. J.C., you mentioned the family that you grew up as a part of in Toronto. What about your family now, the one that you and your wife have made? And I wanted to kind of have them as a part of the foundation for the rest of our conversation.
Yeah, so got very lucky to run into my wife. I met her through a friend in Las Vegas, and she's simply the best thing that's ever happened to me. And since we've met, moved her across the country, and from big town Las Vegas to small town Gainesville, but she fell in love with it pretty quickly here, and we've had 3 kids since. Our oldest, Dylan, is now 10, Sydney is 7, and their little brother, Rip, is 3. He'll turn 4 in July. So it is never a quiet moment in our house, but we wouldn't have it any other way. And it's been so much fun for me to watch Jess grow into a mom, and just an amazing lady here in Gainesville. And to be a dad has probably been the greatest honor of my life, and something I'm trying to be a national champion dad too. So very lucky and a lot of fun, and life is just a blast right now.
Sometimes one might think that being a national championship dad might be harder than getting one of those along the way. JC, it's interesting. You coach young men who are ranging between 17, 23 years old, thereabouts. You mentioned Jess as the mother of your children. I've had many coaches over the years talk to me about their wife being also a mother to the guys or young ladies that they coach. Has that been the case with your family as well?
Oh man, like when I met my wife, she didn't even know what a birdie was. And now, when we're competing, she's constantly texting me, getting updates, finding out why someone made an eagle or why someone made a double bogey, and how we were going to find a way to win the tournament. And she's so invested in the program, and she probably doesn't have as much time as she'd like to come and watch and, be around the guys. But, being the mom of 3, as much time as we're away, she's got the real hard job, and she's certainly the MVP of our family, and got her hands full with them. But she's going to get to come to SECs next week, and she really loves a little time away from the kids to just focus on the guys and watch them. And she understands how hard they work and hears all the stories, the good and the bad about everything that they go through. So she's certainly a mom in her own right for our team, and just cares so much about our guys and their experience here. And she's made it even more special.
Jess is an inspiration to you. You mentioned your college coach at UNLV. JC, who else has inspired you in your life, whether it be professionally or personally?
Wow, that's a great question. And I think I look at this logo, and the first person that comes to mind is Jeremy Foley. And Jeremy gave me the opportunity of a lifetime in 2014, probably when I wasn't even sure I was ready for it or deserved it, but he believed in me. And as you know, at times in your life, you need people to believe in you, maybe even when you don't. And he saw a vision for this program and really helped raise me as a young head coach. I'd never been a head coach before I got here. And he really helped me kind of mold me. And he's been a close friend and confidant ever since. And obviously very, very thankful for our relationship and friendship, and certainly the opportunity he gave me. So Jeremy Foley is the easy answer for that one.
And this logo, JC2, has been blessed with regular championships, maybe more so than a lot of other institutions for sure. Yours was in 2023. Still close enough that it's probably very palpable to you, but just distant enough to make you want to probably do it again. When you've looked now back on that championship experience, or as I know all of you in the coaching fraternity / sorority at this university speak to each other, what have you started to garner about what it takes to get one of those?
Oh man, it takes a lot. And I certainly had no idea when I was a 31-year-old head coach here when I started. Obviously, I think, it goes back to getting great kids, and getting great kids comes from recruiting. And I try to not let one day go by without doing something to help our recruiting. I think that's really, really important, just to continuously build relationships and have an eye on the future. But, once you get those great kids, you need a little luck, and you need a lot of hard work. And, I look at that trophy and think back to the amount of hard work that Ricky Castillo and Yushin Lin and Fred Biondi and John Dubois and freshman Matthew Kress put in to hit the shots and earn that trophy is pretty special. And I think, being removed from it now, you realize that it's forever. And no one can ever take that away from us, and we're always going to share that bond together, and that's a really, really powerful thing, and was worth all the ups and downs getting there.
J.C., no offense to any of the other sports, I've come to believe, after witnessing your team's run in 2023, that the Golf National Championship might be the most grueling of them all. Why is that in your eyes?
It's just a lot of golf crammed into not very many days. I remember that week in Scottsdale, and I think we had 3 mornings where we were up before 4 a.m. But you just have to be on. If you have one round out of those 7 that it took for us to win, you're out and it's done. And there was just always someone stepping up, always someone hitting the big shot. There's so many great memories that we have where guys were just clutch and probably playing the best golf they've ever played at that up to that point in their life. So it was very, very difficult, really hard golf course, super hot weather, tremendous competition, but we were just good enough to get it done. And like I said before, we've got that forever.
I was glued to it. So were a lot of Gators and golf fans.
Awesome.
As I mentioned at the beginning of our conversation, the postseason is next for the 2025 version of Gators men's golf. They've had 3 big wins this year, including the most recent, the 30th of J.C. Deacon's career. First of all, that came as a milestone for you, Coach, but it was also seemingly a pivotal moment here for your team leaning into the offseason coming up.
Yeah, we got a really, really special team again, and I'm super excited about the postseason because we got some experience. We got 2 players in Ian Gilligan and Jack Turner at the top of the lineup that are the special type of players you need. Ian's ranked number 3 in PGA Tour University right now. Jack Turner just got honored on the Hogan Award watch list just this past week, and they're big time players, and that's what you need at the top of the lineup. And the rest of the lineups filled out as we've gone on this year. Luke Poulter's really stepped up, got his first win a couple weeks ago at the Schenkel, and then Matthew Kress is, he was there when we won that national championship in the SEC, and he's kind of our senior leader, brings a lot of maturity and work ethic to the team. And then Zach Swanwick's going to round out the lineup. Zach's just a wonderful young man, epitomizes everything we look for in a student athlete here. He's humble and hardworking, does all the right things, and just had his best finish at the Clusa Cup of his young Gator career. So the lineup's really strong. Everyone's playing well, but we're going up against the best conference in college golf. And SEC basketball, football, everyone knows that, but SEC golf is the best that there is in the country, and we're going to have to play unbelievable to get the job done.
That's step 1, St. Simons Island in Georgia. What's that course like? You know it well, Coach.
This will be year 11 going there, so we got lots of experience. The wind usually blows. The greens are going to be firm and fast. Sea Island does a tremendous job of setting it up just like the tour events. So it kind of takes every part of your game. You got to hit it really straight. Going to have to hit some really quality iron shots into different sections of the greens. They make it really challenging, and then obviously just going to have to putt well. And then hopefully as match play comes on, you're going to have to clutch putt really well. So I think our guys are ready, and just have one more week of preparation, and we'll go give them hell.
Speaking of preparation, we need preparation as fans too, and I want Gators fans to understand the aspect of team and the aspect of individual when it comes to postseason golf.
Yeah.
All of us, having just watched the Masters, the first major of the year, on the tour level, we see that as an individual sport in golf.
Yeah.
But yet there's this team aspect, and you talked about even having your lineup. How do we differentiate as fans between the two to enjoy it?
Yeah, so I think that's honestly what makes college golf so special. And you go out on the PGA Tour and you ask a majority of the PGA Tour players, they're going to tell you college golf was 4 of the best years of their life. And being a part of something bigger than yourself is really amazing. And we're staring at this trophy here, but winning with a group is unlike anything else in the world. And so college golf, we'll go to SECs next week. They'll play 3 rounds of stroke play, and on Friday, that'll determine the individual champion. So the low man through 54 holes will get the title. And then while the individual competition is going on, there's a team competition where you count your best 4 scores out of 5 guys every day. And then we'll add those up after Friday as well, after 54 holes. And the top 8 teams will go to match play. And then it's just like any other sport, it's head to head. So it'll be, the Gators against the Commodores or the Gators against the Auburn Tigers, and then it's just first team to win 3 points. You got to win 3 matches. So it's incredibly intense. The rivalries are real, just like they are in all the other sports, and it's heated. So it is by far my favorite week of the year every single year, getting to play that SEC championship at Sea Island.
That helps. It helps us pull for you guys, for sure. Coach mentioned, of course, that'll be at St. Simon's Island. And, of course, they also played earlier this year out west in Las Vegas. Florida Golf competes in the SEC, but also plays a national schedule, too. And all those different stops along the way would be perhaps maybe my favorite vacation spots. So if those are work spots for you, J.C., where is your favorite vacation spot?
Yeah, I think Las Vegas obviously has a really special place in our heart because I played college golf there. I got to start my coaching career there with Coach Knight, and Southern Highlands is such a special golf course. Jessica and I got married out there, and we've been lucky enough to win that tournament. So it's probably my favorite golf course in the whole world because of that. I've just had so many amazing experiences out there, and the people, Jason Cheney, the GM, and Jim Delaney, the director of golf out there, just some of my most special friends in the world, and have taken such great care of our family. So Vegas is always really fun spot to go. But we're so lucky, man. We play an amazing schedule. We've been to California this year. We've been up to Chicago to play Olympia Fields. We went out west to Washington State to play Sahalee. And so we get to do it all. Being a golf coach certainly has its perks.
Is there a place that you haven't been yet in the golfing world that you'd like to witness?
I haven't been to Ireland yet. So I've been to Scotland a couple times, which has been amazing, but I've heard Ireland's really special, and obviously watching Rory McIlroy win the Masters yesterday, and I was a big Team Rory guy and wanted to see him get the dub and get that Grand Slam, and he made it extremely difficult. That was some hard watching yesterday afternoon, but thankful he got it done. So, thinking of him and where he came from, I'd love to see what Irish golf looks like.
That'd be awesome. All right, away from golf, Coach, favorite movie?
Probably either Rounders or Thomas Crown Affair.
Okay, 2 good choices there for sure. What about your favorite spot to eat in Gainesville?
Ooh, Spurrier's.
Spurrier's. The home course, Bostic.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite hole in that layout?
Oh, I love number 1. It's such a simple hole, but when you walk out of the parking lot and sit in my office, it's such a beautiful view down there. You're right in the heart of campus. That's the greatest benefit we have at this school is our golf course is a 1-minute walk from the dorms and where our guys get to eat at the Heavener Center right here. So we are so lucky to have the convenience that we do, but number 1 at Bostic is a simple hole, but really special to me.
I've known you just long enough to know that you're not a name dropper, so don't get uncomfortable when I ask you this last question. If you were to pull up the contact list on your phone, who would be the most famous person in that phone?
Well, most famous person on my phone right now has got to be Todd Golden. He is our most recent national champion coach, and I'm so happy for him. It's been a heck of a year and ride, and that was a really special memory for our golf team. We got to watch the Final Four and the final game together, and the moments and memories that their guys created for us as a team, being able to share that were really special. But Todd be mad at me for saying that. He's one of the most humble, awesome, dynamic human beings I've ever met, and we are so lucky to have him here at the University of Florida. But he's got a pretty famous name at the moment, so I'll say Todd Golden.
We'll go with that. And Coach, the next time that we talk, I hope we'll add a little more hardware to the table here.
We're certainly working hard enough for it. You need a bounce at the right time, but we got a really, really special team, and it's going to be a heck of a month and a half ride here to see if we can do it.
J.C. Deacon, good luck during the postseason. Thank you for the visit.
You're the man, Sean. Thank you.
Thank you.
The man? I don't know about that, Coach, but I'll take it. Let's continue. Let's turn our attention now to Gator softball. And voice of the softball Gators, Kyle Crooks, joins us now to go one-on-one with catcher Jocelyn Erickson.
All right, Jossie, welcome to the Gator Tales podcast. Excited to chat with you. And, we've obviously known each other for a little bit here, and having a chance to call your games has been such an honor. And last year, your first year with the Gators was a real special one when you look back to it, and all the awards that you had won. You set the single season program RBI record. Let's go way back. You started out as an Oklahoma Sooner, right? So what brought you here to Gainesville and this environment and playing in the SEC here with the Gators? How did that come about?
Yeah. So when I was looking to transfer schools, I was really looking for an environment that I could thrive in and for people who were special and could support me. And that's ultimately what I discovered when I went on a visit here. Everyone that I met was so welcoming and so happy to be a Gator. And I just wanted to be a part of it. And I think that is definitely why, like the results that you were talking about last year, that's definitely why like some of those happened, just because of the support that the coaching staff, our trainers, and literally everyone that is involved with Gator athletics. So
what is it like playing for Tim Walton? I've talked to a lot of former players that have played for him, and they talk highly, obviously, of the experience, the detail in which he goes about his job. From your perspective as a student athlete, what is it like to play for Coach Walton?
It's a really good time. He's a jokester, so he'll throw some little one-liners in at practice, and I'm obviously catcher, so I'm right there at the plate, and I get to hear them all. So it's a good time. He pushes you, makes you work hard, and he wants each individual player to get better at what they need. And he knows how to work with different personalities, which is super special, I think.
Watching all the hard work pay off last year, as we're talking with Jocelyn Erickson, I mentioned some of the accolades, and I didn't even touch about half of them. You were the SEC Player of the Year, finalist for the Honda Award. You won the Johnny Bench Award. You were the NFCA Division I Player of the Year. But seeing all of that pay off, how gratifying was that? I know in the end you want to win a national championship, and last year the team was oh so close to getting to a championship series. But individually, with the amount of work that you've put in leading up to being a Gator, how gratifying was a season like last year for you personally?
Yeah, I mean, it was super special, especially just because with the people that I got to be around and playing with it. Like throughout the season, it was never like, I'm doing this so that I can be an All-American. It was kind of just like, I'm doing this so that we can win and so we can like progress throughout season and get better. And so I guess just at the end of the year, just seeing like all the hard work that I put into it, like it pay off and it being recognized was super special. And like, obviously everyone works their whole life to get to the D1 level and to play in the World Series and all of that. And so I think it kind of showed like my parents are super supportive, and all the time that they spend on me, like driving me to lessons and driving to California so that I could practice with my club team and all of that. I think it kind of came full circle last year.
I think that's so special, a dynamic that you have with your parents who go to every single game that you play. And I can only imagine the amount of games and venues that you played coming up at the club level. Forget about the college level. What have they meant in your journey, that consistent structure, stability that it seems like you've always had here in this sport?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely would not have been able to do it without them. They are like my rock and the best support system ever. My dad his work schedule is more flexible, so he pretty much makes it to like every single game. And I'm super thankful for him. And they're always there when I need a rant. They're always there when I need a shoulder to cry on. They're always there for the good times, the bad times. And whenever my mom can make it, she's always watching at home. And so she'll send me texts and stuff. So just knowing I have them is super, super nice. And it helps me play better on the field for sure.
Talking with Jocelyn Erickson, and defensively, have you always been a catcher? I don't think in my time here I've seen a catcher defensively quite as good as you, especially throwing out runners. I mean, they don't necessarily even try to run on you anymore with your arm. Have you always been a catcher at the club level? Was there ever testing out any different position?
Yeah, so I actually grew up like I was a center fielder, first base,
Mhm.
and a slapper. And then yeah, I was a tiny little speedster, but then I grew, and my two older sisters are catchers as well, so I would always like practice catching with them. And so I kind of followed in their footsteps, and my dad was always our catching coach, so.
Mhm.
Yeah, I kind of fell into catching. I never really wanted to be a catcher, but then I fell in love with it once I got older and was starting to understand the game more, and I liked being part of every play. And but I definitely owe it to my older sisters for because like when you're the younger sister, you always get picked on, and they always like push you really hard. So they've definitely made me a better catcher, and my dad too. So.
I've talked to Coach Walton. He said that you're an incredible first base, and you have played first base here. It's just obviously in conference games, they want you behind the plate and limiting the running game. But that's interesting, the whole slapper aspect of you starting out in club. That's a very interesting note for sure. Relationship with your pitchers. Can you guys read each other's mind? I mean, you've worked with Keegan for a long time now. Can you know what she's thinking? Can she know what you're thinking? I assume there's not a whole lot of shaking off when it comes to pitch calls and things like that. What is the relationship like with you and the pitchers, and maybe specifically Keegan Rothrock?
Yeah, I think like I've caught three of them for 2 years now, and so I know their tendencies and like what they want to throw when they do shake off pitches. And I feel like I do know like what's going on in their brain most of the time because I know their
Mhm.
personalities and I know like in certain situations like how they may feel. And I think we have a really good, me and Keegan specifically have a really good like trust built. So like if I call a pitch, like she knows she trusts it and she'll throw it. And I think, especially in adversity in the game, like in tough situations, that we can lean on that trust that we built and it'll work out for us.
And talking about teammates, but so incredibly unique how things can come full circle. The opportunity to play with Riley Holtorf, who was your high school teammate, and you guys had a lot of success at Sandra Day O'Connor, and you guys got a chance to go back there this year and practice at your high school field when you guys went back to Arizona. That's pretty incredible. One, getting a chance to play with Riley, but going back and practicing at your old high school. What was that like?
It was super special, very nostalgic. It was kind of crazy just because I had a really good experience at O'Connor. And so for the people that kind of built me and trained me there to meet the people who are building me and training me here at Florida, it was super cool just because they're both really special people in my life. And I like to show my teammates around Arizona and tell them, oh, that's where I used to do this and this is where I used to do this. It was super fun. And playing with Riley is so crazy. Just because like we grew up going on recruiting trips together to a bunch of different college camps, and we always like kind of wanted to play together, but ultimately like we ended up at different schools. So the fact that I got in the portal and she got in the portal, and like I hosted her on her visit, and so it was super cool just to talk about like our experiences at the college level, and then actually getting to play with her here is like insane.
Yeah, it's certainly incredible. And she's had the chance to play in a World Series a couple of years back with Washington. You've had a chance with a couple of different teams. Can you bring me into, I've broadcasted a World Series, but that does not come anywhere close to playing in a World Series when you're surrounded by 13,000 fans, and even in a situation like last year when you're playing Oklahoma and it's 99% Oklahoma fans because you're 30 minutes from their campus. What is that experience like as a player, as this is the ultimate dream of what you want to do when you're coming up playing the sport? You've had a chance to do it a couple times here. What is that Oklahoma City experience like, Jossie?
It really is a special environment to play in, and it's what you dream of as a little girl. And as a little girl, you don't think about all like the hard work and all the sacrifices that you have to put in to actually get there. You kind of just watch on TV and be like, oh, I want to go there someday. But then once you're there, it's like, we're here and we made it. And like, we put in all this work. I think that's what makes the feeling there so special, is because like it's the highest stage that you can play at, the D1 level, ultimately in softball right now with the pro league like just starting. But it is really insane, especially with the developments that they've had with the stadium, having more seats, more fans get to watch the games, and the media coverage too is really crazy.
Yeah, it's grown so much, and even the SEC tournament has grown so much in terms of its coverage. It's wild to think about, and obviously you guys had the experience of winning the SEC tournament last year. Let me ask you this advice, because there's a lot of people that look up to you that play softball. I could see it for the autograph lines and the things that a lot of you guys go through after a game. There are a lot of people that say, I want to be like Jocelyn Erickson, and for good reason. One, how does that feel? And two, what's your message to young softball players as to what it takes to do what you do at this level? Some people have the innate ability to do what you do, and you work really hard to get to that point. How do you get to a Jocelyn Erickson level, I guess?
To answer your first question, how it feels, it really makes my soul happy just to see that I am being a good example to the younger generation, and that they do look up to me, and that they see me as a good human being, not just a good player, but someone who they aspire to be like. It makes my heart happy, and that I'm doing the right things. And then how to get to this level, I would just say it's not easy, and there's going to be a lot of sacrifices that you have to make. You're not going to get to go to all your school dances. You're not going to get to go to all the birthday parties. You're going to miss a lot of things. But if it's ultimately what you want to do, you want to play at this high level and you want to go to the World Series, and you really love the game, that's what really matters, is you have to love the game, because you do it every single day. And sometimes it gets tiring, but you got to push through if you want to get to the stages that you want to play at. So I would just say, figure out what you really want in life. And if you really want to play college softball at the highest level, then you got to put the work in.
When you do have free time, what are you doing, Jocelyn? Probably don't have much of that in season.
Yeah.
During like the summertime or in between fall ball, something like that.
I love to play. I'm from a sports family, so I love to play pickleball.
Okay.
I love to play sand volleyball. Those are my two favorite like summer sports. Can't go wrong with the beach. I love to go on like any adventures. So like Florida is the perfect state because there's so many things to do. Amusement parks, Disney World, like the Springs. Like I just love to make memories and travel places. So
good. It's glad that you're actually doing some stuff outside of softball. And so that's good to hear. Saucy Jocelyn is the nickname phrase. I believe we put it on t-shirts, right? NIL t-shirts. If you see Jocelyn hit a home run, she stirs the sauce, stirs the pot.
Yes.
She rounds third base. What was the genesis of that? Was it just that it rhymed and it sounded cool, or does this go way back, the Saucy Jocelyn thing?
It started in high school, and it was mainly because it rhymed, because there's not many things that rhyme with Jossie. But saucy kind of because I have like a sassy personality, so it's kind of like sassy Jossie, but it's saucy Jossie. And like the stirring the sauce thing kind of started this year, just because like after I hit a home run, like Mia and Brooke will always be like, give me the sauce. Give me the sauce. So then I just started stirring the pot when I ran home. It was pretty funny, but
I love it. Hopefully many more home runs to come here. Jocelyn, thanks so much for the time and All-American, and already in the season plus turning into a Gator great here. We appreciate it, and we're lucky that you're in Gainesville. Thanks for the time.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Go Gators.
So that's a wrap. Episode number 49 of the Gator Tales podcast with Sean Kelley. Thanks to Kyle Crooks, J.C. Deacon, and of course, Jocelyn Erickson for joining us on this episode of the podcast. Of course, Gator softball is at the SEC tournament this week in Athens, Georgia. We wish them the best. And men's golf is off to the Northwest to begin regional play in their NCAA postseason tournament. Baseball heads to Austin, Texas. That's where I'll be this weekend with the Gators as they take on the Longhorns, and we'll be rooting for all of our Gators team down the stretch here at the end of the spring season. Until next time, thanks again to our sponsors, UF Health and Pet Paradise. I'm Sean Kelley, saying so long for just a while, and as always, go Gators!